we have Lafayette on the line right now. Lafayette, welcome to WPFW.
Oh, thank you for having me, Rusty. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, hanging in there, playing this music. I just live for this. So
Man,
as I know,
that John Hicks record, man. That's one of my favorite John Hicks, man.
oh, John was a good friend of mine. I really miss him. Even after all these years since he left us, I still miss the brother, man. He was really, really incredible.
Yeah, John was a very generous teacher, man. He was I learned quite a bit from John, man.
Tell us about how you got into the playing the piano. Let's go back a few years. What got you started?
Oh, it was a kind of a chance encounter during my freshman year of college. I was at the University of Maryland in Baltimore, taking a summer school class. It happened to be in the Fine Arts Building on the campus, and I happened to wander into a piano room and just started fooling around to see what I could do, but it became quite a thing through the years.
So you actually really started late. You in your late teens by then. Geez, that's unusual. Most
about 17.
Okay. Who were some of your early mentors in playing? Who got you going?
Well, I was mostly on my own for a few years, but I managed to scrape up enough money to afford one semester of lessons with Charlie Covington.
Okay.
And that helped me out a lot. And then it just really involved showing up to gigs and getting instruction wherever I could get it from. Not just from piano players, but from saxophone players. Carl Grubbs was a big mentor of mine. I remember when I used to come to Carl's house, I couldn't even get through a tune. But Carl was one of the most patient teachers. Also, the late Whit Williams.
Oh yes,
saxophonist. Yeah.
I did the liner notes for his album with the Now's the Time big band. They had Slide Hampton playing on it and Jimmy Heath. Man, that was a real thrill to do those notes and talk about Whit.
Whit was my open sesame for so much. He was one of my most important teachers in Baltimore. I learned more about playing the piano, particularly in an ensemble setting, from Whit. I could, because I could go over to Whit's house and sit with him for hours, man, and just go through tunes in his den and stuff. So it was a tremendous learning opportunity, and I could go over to his house, and I might. You might see everybody at Whit's house. You see Cyrus Chestnut, maybe Gary Thomas, Harper Brothers. So that was a big learning step for me.
It was really shocking that his son Tommy passed away so young. I'm really just.
I would see Tommy a lot. Tommy was. I was. We were all shook, man. That was a blow.
So you did a lot with ensembles on the recordings that you did for the Hyena label some years ago. How did you develop your approach to working with these ensembles?
Well, listening and composing, and taking care and selecting the individuals that I would have. But the concept just came really organically from just being a part of my surroundings. Growing up in Washington D.C., go-go music was omnipresent.
Sure.
So it was almost like a I mean, you know, I won't say it was music we took for granted, but it was so accessible and so around me at the time that really seeped into my pores. And then, but I didn't learn to play music in Washington D.C. I learned to play music in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Baltimore had a whole nother sound.
Sure.
What the Metropolitan Musings was based on was really the house music sound.
Mm-hmm.
And so the concepts that I began to build were really based on, you know, in my mind, what I call like my Twin City sounds.
Okay,
you know,
sure.
Twin City native sounds, you know, and I just began to build from there. Well, I began to build with that aesthetic, but based in the jazz education that I was receiving. Not a formal jazz education per se, but more of a working, Whit would basically train me for gigs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, train me. I remember one of the first things he said to me, he says, I see that you like Thelonious Monk. He said, well, I'm going to teach you how to be able to play like you want to play and be able to work.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So Wit was really, really important. Like I said, I learned more about how to play with an ensemble, with working with Wit, and also working with Carl Grubbs too, because once I got competent enough to play with Carl in some of his ensembles, his concepts that he and his brother Earl had developed, that began to rub off as well. And then working with David Murray was just, that just really strengthened everything.
Sure, absolutely. How long were you with David?
Oh, man, with David for like 20 years.
Right.
I'm still with David.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. God, he's so important to the music, and it's really, important that you've been working with him. So tell us about Undoubted and the cast you're working with on this and how you put it together.
Oh, well, that's an ensemble. It started off as a trio with Herman, Eric, and myself. And we did a double CD called Now, which we recorded at another one of my favorite piano players, Alan Johnson.
Sure, okay.
We recorded at Alan Johnson's studio at the time and had Alan to produce the record. And so we began to get, I just began to hear for a larger ensemble. I wanted to expand that core section ensemble that I had, and I'd always wanted to work with Brian Settles.
Sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I had heard him play. I'd heard him play a few years ago. I think it was at maybe the High Zero Festival, or maybe it was someplace in New York. But I remembered his sound.
Mm-hmm.
I remember with his sound, and I remember kind of really hearing and identifying with what he was doing on the horn. And so I thought I would reach out to him, and it worked out very well. We did some duets together, and then I began to build the ensemble with him and Christian.
Okay, sure. And adding Kevin Pinder on the percussion on this is really augments it. So you're going to be doing
Kevin was kind of like, Kevin's kind of like, I don't know, my secret sauce, so to speak, because he has a way of making his own parts and making things better. He listens. He listens and makes a part, because it's not the easiest thing in the world to play with Eric, because Eric is a very powerful drummer.
Right. Absolutely. So you're going to be up at Keystone Corner next Thursday. So tell us what's going to be happening.
Oh, that's going to be great. I'm looking forward to that. So looking forward to that. That's going to be next Thursday, December the 28th. We're going to hit about 7:30, and we're going to play selections from the new recording Undaunted, and we're also going to celebrate the fact that we're also releasing this on vinyl.
Okay. Absolutely. Everybody's doing that these days, but it's far easier for me to do the CDs here at the radio station to get them in here and play the disc. And in fact, I want to get a hold of the trio album that you just mentioned to add to the other material that I have from some years ago.
Oh, certainly. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll drop you my address afterwards, and so we can get that. Okay. But I got this one.
Happy to see.
Yeah, so you got some good publicists working with you on this, getting the word out on Undaunted.
Oh yeah, I've been I mean it's been very well received. I'm very grateful for it because I put my own savings into it. So
okay.
No dice on this.
Right, absolutely. It's that's it. The recordings are really important, even though with the new media environment and stuff like that's killing the income. It's still important to have some hard copy of material, and I'm glad you're doing going back to vinyl. And and so we'll be talking about that too. So next Thursday, it's at Keystone Corner. Todd Barkin has done a marvelous job of keeping the club going. And it's been, it really has added so much to Baltimore. I don't make it up there as often as I would like to, but and I'm otherwise engaged on a Thursday night, so we'll catch you the next time that you do Tacoma Station or someplace over here in D.C. again. I have to get out for that.
Oh yeah, we just had a pretty successful date over there at Tacoma. I love that club.
Oh, I know. I played your music for that, too. Gave you a mention and played some of your music before that.
Oh, thank you, man.
Oh, yeah. No, I just I've had some things keeping me close to home lately, but I'll be getting out more often, and I'll catch you next time you come around this way. In any case, next Thursday, Keystone Corner. If you go to the website, Todd Barkin will hook you up for Lafayette Gilchrist with his new release, Undaunted. And again, tell us about the cat you have with you on this.
Oh man, I'm going to have everybody that you hear on the recording.
So we got Brian Settles on the tenor and Christian Hassan on trombone, Kevin Pinder on percussion with my man Herman Burney on the bass and Eric Kennedy on drums. Lafayette Gilchrist, Undaunted. Thanks for calling in tonight. It's been great talking with you, and I know you're going to do well. Fill up the club next Thursday, Keystone Corner up in Baltimore. Say hi to Todd for me.
I certainly will, and thank you so much, Rusty, for playing the music, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I got your music going all as much as I can. Lafayette Gilchrist.
I mean, not just my music, man. Thank you for playing the music, man.
Oh, absolutely. You got it.